Have you ever embarrassed God? Have you ever done something that embarrassed God? Some of you will say, well, yeah, I've done a lot of things. And others will say, well, no, not really. Somewhere in between, the rest of us will fall. We know we have, but we're not willing to admit either way. We're going to take the fifth. But the people of Israel, upon their return from the Babylonian captivity to Jerusalem, had embarrassed God. And God will let them know that they have embarrassed Him. They had returned after 70 years of captivity and had come back to Jerusalem. The temple needed to be rebuilt, and they laid the foundation, and then they stopped because of opposition. They returned to building their homes, and their gifts to the temple were less than adequate. And God takes the prophet Haggai, and he said, I need you to say a word to my people. In Haggai chapter 1, we read where the prophet of God came, and he said, the Lord of armies says, think carefully about your ways. Go into the hills, bring down lumber, and build the house, and I will be pleased with you and be glorified, says the Lord. God said to the nation of Israel, instead of coming back and giving me your best, you haven't even given me your second best. I'm embarrassed by what you are trying to do. I'm embarrassed by the efforts that you are giving. I'm embarrassed by the lack of your obedience. So let's ask again, have you ever embarrassed God? I think all of us, if we're honest, would have to say, yes, we have. Our lack of obedience has embarrassed God. Our lack of giving Him our best has embarrassed God. Our lack of service has embarrassed God. But aren't you grateful for the grace of God that says, though you have embarrassed me, my grace is sufficient, and if you will but come to me, I will restore that fellowship with you. Our word for the day is listen. Listen to what God is trying to tell us. Father, today, thank you for your word that calls us back to yourself. Jesus said, I stand at the door and knock. Can you hear me? Let's get together. Have a great day. Thank you for joining us today.